I've been out the United States for about 10 years, and I come across a lot of people from around the black world, especially when I lived in Europe. I would almost always find black men from other parts of the world, and they would come living along. But it was really hard to see black women traveling by themselves. And of course, when I saw black men traveling by themselves, it typically meant that they were interested in the women of that country. And so if I was in Poland, that's what I typically saw. I saw a lot of black men or African men that were, extremely interested in dating white women. Now, in the contrast, when I found black women in Poland, they were still interested in dating black men. Don't get me wrong, they will date white men if they can get them, but that was the situation, if they can get them. A lot of black women complained about being fetishized by these white men, and they still felt that black men were their number one option. But there was a problem. If a black man had the option, a lot of times the Polish woman or European woman would win. And the reason why is because in that country, that black man was somewhat of a delicacy or even considered exotic. So the black man felt that from the Polish lady or the European lady, he would get treated better than dealing with the black lady who took him for granted. So a lot of times, a lot of black women got turned down. Believe it or not, it happens a lot. But this doesn't just happen in Europe. It happens everywhere they go. Fast forward! Last year, a lady went viral in Japan, and she's living there, and she's trying to date black men, but she got upset. Why?
Something that has greatly disappointed me since I've been living here is the amount of coonery that I've seen in Tokyo. And sorry to say, but it's mainly from black men from America. The way that I have to watch y'all treat me and my fellow black sisters like but treat the Japanese women all delicately like they're special flowers is insane. The amount of times that I've met black men from America who give people the N-word here is crazy. I recently went to a club and this black guy was asking me how my experience is here dating, and I was telling him, and then he was like, well, I'm in heaven here because, they like fetishize us, so they be worshiping us and doing whatever the we want, so I'm in heaven. What? None? Or the black men that'll be talking to me, and then when we get done, they're like, I enjoyed the conversation. You're so cool. I love black women. I worship black women. I wish there was more in Tokyo. And then we'll go over to their Japanese girlfriend and then talk shit about us. When black American men get over here, the be on 10. Y'all need to pipe down because they do not give a about y'all.
She was extremely upset that black men were not really so interested in her like she wanted. And she even said that these Asian girls and Japanese women you're dealing with don't even really like you.
Stop the cap.
And then she followed it up with this video.
I will never forget when a guy I knew was inviting me out, and he was like, oh, me and my friends are going out to the club in this certain district. And I was like, ain't that the gay district? Ain't that where all the gay people go? And he was like, yeah. And I said, well, as far as I know, you're straight. Why are you going there? And he was like, I like going to the gay district to pregame before going to the club because I like when the men come up and they have the desperation on their face and they think that they're going to sleep with me. And then I say, pause, I'm straight and I have a girlfriend. I don't know, it just does something for me. And I just had to sit there and be like, wow.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the you think you is?
It's so bad that she actually was trying to date a guy that wanted to be hit on by men.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, this is a guy that was basically being approached by men and liked it, which, in my honest opinion, would insinuate that he was gay.
Why are you gay?
But this was the struggle for her living in Japan. Now, I'm looking at this lady, and she's very attractive, so I don't understand why the problem is there. But I can tell you why. It's that the Japanese women are probably more agreeable and, for whatever better reason, treat them better. And this is also the case in Colombia. Now, Colombia has a lot of women from many different places. You have your white Colombians and your black Colombians, but still black women or black American women would still like to go to Colombia and visit or live for the same reasons that black men want to. It's close to the United States. It's cheap. It's a bang for your buck and all that. And it's a lot of nice experiences. And the quality of life in Colombia is good, minus the crime. But a lady went viral for saying this.
Dating in Medellin as a foreign black woman, I'm not really saying it's about looks. So many more things that go into it. One, a lot of us prefer to date black men. Some of us, because of language barriers and things like that, are mostly around black men that speak English, black foreigners. So they come down here, and because they're in a new country, they don't want to date black foreign women because they can date black Colombian women.
But wait, there's more.
A socioeconomic standpoint, if you want to date in Colombia as a black foreign woman, a lot of the times you're going to make more money, and that makes things a little bit complicated when you're dating somebody in Colombia who might not be same level economically as you. Obviously, men and women are socialized different. If the woman doesn't have as much money as the man, that's okay. If a woman has more money than the man, that becomes an issue. So that also makes it difficult. And then also, let's be fair, in the interior parts of Colombia, darker skinned people, not the beauty standard. So that also makes it even more difficult.
Now, this was interesting. She's a black woman that lives in Colombia, but she said something that was completely true, which is that she wants to date a black man, but live in Colombia because it would be great, right? You're living overseas and things are cheaper and you have money. And then you also have somebody that understands you and understands your culture. But she took it one step further. And that is, dating Colombian men means that these men don't have money as much as you would want. And a lot of Colombian men that are rich, well, it's safe to say that they don't, need to date American women because they're probably already gone. Most rich guys in foreign countries are gone. It's not like it is in America. And guys in America have opportunities too, but if you're a rich guy living in Colombia, you're already probably married or you have a lot of opportunities. There's probably not a way that even an American woman can get a hold of a rich Colombian guy. So for that reason, dating an American is preferable because a woman wants to be provided for. So if you're an American man in Colombia, that must mean that you have some level of income or some level of business going on. And so, hey, you'd be able to support her. You may not need a lot of money, but you'd be able to support her. But there is just one problem.
Black women, don't come to Medellin if you are a pick-me and or male-centered. Because I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. You are not the preference. They are not looking for us here. You will be disappointed and get your feelings hurt. Now, I'm not saying don't come to Medellin, period. I love Medellin. It is such a great city. If you're coming here planning on staying for a while and you're looking for love, you're looking to date around and find your person, don't do it. First, I'm going to assume that you are mostly attracted to black men or date black men. And so when you come down here, especially if you're from the US, the black men here will openly tell you, why am I going to check for y'all when I have Colombian women, specifically black Colombian women? Now, for a male-centered woman, that is awful because a lot of them, they get their validation from the men. Some Colombian men, they also will fetishize you because they're not used to, dating black women, specifically black foreigners. So a lot of the times your options are being fetishized or being ignored. Of course, there's exceptions to the rules, but time and time again, I have talked to women that come down here and they can't stay here long term because they are looking for something real. And then they're absolutely disappointed when they realize, oh shoot, they can't get what they're looking for here.
Now, what the lady is saying here is vital because she's saying, listen, as much as I want to date American men, American black men, they just don't want me. And they don't want a lot of us as black women because they want to date the Colombian women. And there could be a lot of reasons for that. Number one, the Colombian women or any foreign women, if you're a black man, you also stick out. So it's not like if this black woman was in America or in a city that they wouldn't date her. It's possible that they would. The reality, though, is that now the black guy has more access than he would in the States. So if you take a woman like her and you live in, San Antonio or Houston or any major city, okay, she may be a good opportunity. But if you're in Medellin and now you're an American and you have, a 200% or 2,000% chance to date somebody, then she's not an option. You can kind of look at her as like, well, you'll always be there. And for you may not care as much that you have the same culture or you have the same stuff, because it doesn't matter. You might be looking for somebody that is a little bit light skinned or younger or whatever the case may be. And so now these women that come from America, they're competing against women that are like really feminine, who might have a different complexion, and they may have a different attitude. And one of the things that a lot of black men go through is that, well, okay, you're a black American from the States, so I feel like I'm gonna get some level of attitude from you that I'm trying to get away from. So then what it does, it puts a woman in a position where she has to be so exceptional that you have to beat out a Colombian woman in Colombia. And that may be very, very, very difficult, because from what I understand about Latino women, I mean, they're very passionate, they're very, like very sexy and romantic and submissive, some of them. And that might not be what some of these sisters are. And now you're in a playing field where these men can actually access those kind of women. And it makes it very, very difficult. Again, like the first lady I talked about, she's very attractive. She lives in Tokyo, but you can kind of tell that she's kind of no nonsense. It's kind of direct, has a kind of a, what you would call a stereotypical black female attitude that may, turn off certain black men. But in Tokyo, dealing with a Japanese woman, you're not going to get that. And so now what happens is the black women are competing against these women that these men have access to now. And it's bad for them, because now you're competing against, let's just be honest, these guys' dream women. It's almost like, I have a friend that, Storytime Music. I had a friend that lives in Uganda. I don't want to call his name, but he lives in the Carolinas, and he was dating this woman. He wanted to get married to her, and it was a good fit, but it wasn't working out. But he came to Uganda, and he came here like 3 times, and he was like, and he told her, like, there's no way after going to Uganda that I could ever be with you again. Like, it's not possible. Like, now I know what I can get, and so I just can't deal with you like that. So it's just best that we stay friends. And the reality was, he had access to something that he didn't before, and now it's hard for that lady to compete with that. And she ended up with some older guy that didn't work out, and like, he don't even care. He was like crazily in love with him. But yeah, now a lot of these women are getting friend zoned in these foreign countries because competition is fierce. And also, like I said, women actually try harder, like in these countries, to obtain you. And that's something that most women in America are not really used to doing, kind of competing for a man. But hey, what do I know? I just been living overseas for 10 years. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We out.